Hello guys, welcome back to our 9th ride. So today we did basics of neck reining, and I'll get more into that. I did try to zoom in, but it turns out my phone was upside down when I filmed. So every time I zoom in, even if I try to rotate it, it puts the zoom in upside down. So I just decided not to zoom in and do a voiceover. So, in order to teach neck reining, your horse needs to know at least the basics of moving off your leg, which I do teach her in this video, and I have been teaching pretty much since day one, if you really think about it. You're always teaching. So, all I'm going to do is kind of squeeze my leg, and if she ignores and doesn't do anything, I'll start tapping, as you can see here, and I'm wanting her to go to the left, and she took one little step, so I rewarded that. There are a few times where she just walks forward or backwards. I don't reward that. And I'll get into that in a minute on why I don't. So there, she took another step or two, so I reward it. As long as she's moving with the leg that I'm asking, then I'll reward. So there she kind of went forward, so I sat back, said, whoa, she ignored me, so that's why you see me bump and pick up there. If they continue to go forwards or backwards and just ignoring you and pulling through, then I just walk them off in a circle. She did that a few times. I cut it out just because, you know, I couldn't zoom in to really get into detail to show everything. It's hard to see. But I just walked her in circles and made her kind of work a little bit. So, there she's moving, but she's going forward. But she did move her hip over, so I will give her some reward for that. So you can be picky, but right there I just kind of bumped her because I sat back, said, whoa, she kept moving. Now this side I barely squeezed, and that's how much she moved over on the first try. So that I was very, very proud of. And you'll see here in a minute, I'll show you guys the railing and how I got her to stay on the railing. There she moved over really nicely again. But if they don't know how to move off your leg, at least the basics like this, then you're not going to get anywhere with that neck rein. A lot of people say you can't teach a horse to neck rein without spurs. I call BS because I'm doing this without spurs on her 9th ride. So you can see here she gets a little frustrated. What I'm trying to do is tip her nose and push her hip over to kind of help her understand better what I'm asking, and she's just moving forwards and backwards. So, and then she moved the wrong way. Right there she moved into my leg. So I'm not going to reward that at all. So I'm going to keep tapping, and there she took a step over, so I'll stop her and reward her. So it's just rewarding the first couple steps, and I let her walk off, and we go do some walking. So here you can see, it's hard to see, but my arm was out wide and asking her to go onto the rail. And if you guys have seen before, I've had to really get after her to do that. So I put my leg on and she moved over without me having to have a super tight rein. So, you know, right here is what I'm explaining. So I'm kind of picking up that rein and pulling over, but I'm not using my rein as much as I was a couple rides ago. I'm using mostly my leg. So, what I'm going to do to neck rein is I'm going to take my inside leg, my inside rein, and apply it. So I'm putting my inside rein on her neck, my inside leg on her neck, and pulling with my outside. So right here, I'm pulling the way I want her to go, and I'm taking my other side and laying it against her. So I'm tapping with my leg, and I'm pushing with my rein, and that's how you teach the neck rein. I think I have a more in-depth video on it on one of the other horses that I did. So pretty much here I was just trotting her to see if I would have a stop, because there's a few times I asked her to stop and she just braced and pulled right through me and wouldn't stop, and that's why we haven't gone out of the round pen yet. So here I'm just going back and asking her to move over off my leg, and you can see she does really nicely, but then she starts going forwards and kind of not wanting to stand. And so I just keep asking for what I'm looking for. And if she's going to pull through me and go backwards or forwards, I'm just going to kind of bump that bit a little bit. So there you can see me adjust my seat to stop her. And she just starts backing and going forward and rocking herself. So I bumped the bit right there. I'm just trying to get her attention on me because nothing else is working. I'm saying, whoa. I'm sitting down. She's just ignoring. So there, she moved off my leg, so I just leave her alone. When she does what I want, I leave her alone, give her a loose rein, love on her. When she doesn't do what I want, I kind of bump on her, make her move a little bit more, make her work a little bit more, that type of thing. So there, she's moving off my leg nicely. Here I started to ask for more backup. And she does really nice the first few steps, and then she starts bracing and fighting. You see here she's bracing, 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 and there she gives. So for the neck rein, whatever way you want them to go, you would take that rein in the direction that you want them to go and pull it out. And the opposite way that you don't want them to go, you would put your leg and your rein on and bump until they at least take one side step kind of sideways the way that you want. Some horses you have to reward with baby steps and do like one little step at a time, but Kamani picked it up pretty quickly. And eventually, you know, you won't have to pull your rein out and you won't have to bump, and then you'll just be able to eventually put that rein on and have them neck rein. But it does take time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.